everybody else, be on jockeys and owners, and us, my wife.
It seems like there's more media here to you than there was for Charm or Real Quiet or Warren.
Oh, I think Real Quiet was probably the most I've ever encountered because it was 2 years in a row, and it was pretty. I remember when I first walked up, people were like fighting, they were elbowing each other and everything else.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I used to really enjoy it, but now it's more like I'm sort of like, I'm just like playing low and just I enjoy the process, but really there's nothing much I can really say about it. The horse is doing well, and I can't anything else. Everybody sort of knows who I am and about me and everything, so it's like I have to be making things up.
Well, what did you learn from the last few times here?
It's been so long I can't remember.
Come on.
I know we got beat.
The owner seems pretty optimistic. Are you?
Well, I was, he feeds off of me probably. We feel good about the horse, but he's he's up against it. I mean, I've come in here, I thought, Silver Charm had a good chance to win. I thought Real Quiet. Orem, I wasn't too sure of it. He wasn't really built. He got light on me, but he was doing well, but it's one of those things where all I do, I get him ready, and he has to break well, and hopefully get the call from Larry that he's traveling nicely down the backside and all this stuff,
But is he special in your view?
I've actually been listening to your calls. I never listen to the calls, but Larry is pretty crisp, and you can hear him really well, and especially like during the Derby with that new sound system, you can really hear. And even my son Bodie, when you said Fire Line's not done yet. At Bodie, he got panicked.
Nervous.
He got nervous. They had the ISO on him. He was starting to hyperventilate, But I listened during the race because you can't really see that well. So Larry's. He's like I just listen to him and hope that he's giving a positive. When he said he was being ridden at the 2.5, I told Jill, I think he's done, and I was worried. And then he just came back, and so it was. I just don't want to hear that from Larry.
Do you have any superstition that you may remember from your 3 other Triple Crown attempts?
Black Cat jumped in front of Real Quiet in front of me that week in front of my car. It was raining.
Any things that you might have done that you said, if I ever get back here, I am not going to blind?
No, not really. I think, I've come back to the Belmont before. I think coming back with Point Given really... the way I prepared him for it, it was sort of like I learned from all those races. So in Point Given, he won pretty nice. But all those horses were different. They're completely different. This guy's different than the other ones, and so.
Is there anything about him that sets him apart?
He has the shortest tail of all of them, and he's pretty fast. The way he moves, he just he springs off the ground. He's got a really his stride is it's long stride, but he just really jumps. He just floats over the ground. He's got a beautiful way of moving.
Is that true? He has the shortest tail?
He's got a really short tail. It was eaten off earlier in his life, so it's growing out. It's growing out a lot.
Bob, what do you think is the hardest thing from a physical standpoint? I mean, is it 3 times in 5 weeks? Is it the 1.5 miles? I mean,
well, I think the 1.5 miles is a big issue. I think the coming back. He's ran 2 times for the Derby, shipped to all those. He's done a pretty remarkable shipping. I've never had a horse that shipped so much and ran as well. So he's cut above like a really good horse, and so I think the Belmont, if you see, it's a test of greatness, and so he'll let us know.
Bob, what will you do with him over the next few days here? I imagine a pretty light touch.
First of all, this barn, they redid these barns. He's never stayed in a barn like this. I mean, it's like he's at the Ritz, And so he's really going to enjoy his stay here. And we won't do much with him. We'll just, he's going to have a little light jog tomorrow and just light gallops, but he's pretty well prepared.
What's your biggest concern?
Concern is that the day of the race, that he's here, he trains well, he looks in his energy, he looks sharp, and that's about it, that he's happy, and then he needs racing luck, like everybody else needs that. So, and hopefully we have a a nice track. You know, it's not too demanding. So sometimes the track can be demanding. It makes it harder. You know.
We've been here many times. You've been here many times before with the chance. Is there any way to know going into the race, the day of the race, I feel good today, or is there real no way?
Yeah, I think so. I think that you know, for the Preakness, you know, I wasn't sure. I knew he was doing well, but you're not sure really until once he was on the backside. I knew we were in pretty good shape. But just the way he handles when he goes to the paddock, when I saddle him, I can usually tell. Usually when I put the saddle on, they give me I can feel when I saddle them that they're on their toes. You know, I feel the energy there. So, you know, you don't want to saddle them and they just look like they're just completely zapped. You know, that's not a good sign.
On your near misses here, could you tell beforehand, or did you feel good?
I felt good about Silver Charm and Real Quiet, and the War Emblem. I wasn't really sure with him because he was totally different. He was light horse and he wasn't really he wasn't handling his weight. He'd lost some weight and it was tough on him. It wasn't built for him. He was a good horse, but just wasn't built for him.